Okay, so let's start. Right, I'll be reading a little bit, right? But I'm here, so looking at you as much as I can. I'm pleased to share a little bit about the Feldenkrais for Life project. That is a project funded by the European Union within the Erasmus Plus program, and it's running from February 2024 to January 26. Its goal is to support the professional development of Feldenkrais practitioners as key actors in society, key actors, especially in the fields of lifelong learning, of integrated personal care and health. We Feldenkrais practitioners or teachers are still not as well known in many professional fields, including healthcare, as we might be. So this project is in part a response to that, to help increase our visibility and strengthen our professional identity and build bridges with health professionals working toward greater institutional recognition. It's wonderful that the European Union is supporting us in this endeavor. Briefly, who are we? The project was initiated by the Italian professional association, the AIMF, that involved the German association, the Feldenkrais Verband Deutschland, and the International Feldenkrais Federation, alongside the AIS, Associazione Italiana Sindrome Fibromyalgica, which is an Italian association working to improve the quality of life of fibromyalgia patients. And let me also mention the ETC, EuroTAP Council, which is a further assembly of Feldenkrais associations that is not an official partner, but is kindly and steadily supporting us. And my name is Elisabetta Abad, and I'm a team member on behalf of the German association. Although I'm Italian, but I've been living in Germany for many years, and I'm a member of this local, this national association. I'd like to share for a few moments what we've been doing so far, among other things. So we did a survey among Feldenkrais practitioners all over Europe and generated a report that maps out the state of Feldenkrais teaching and identity across Europe. We are creating resources and networks for professional exchange. We are holding dissemination events such as this one today, and we're planning one for December, the third and last one. So stay tuned and join us also in December. And we are testing a pathway for Feldenkrais practitioners together with physicians and patients or people with fibromyalgia and chronic pain to integrate the Feldenkrais method into, in a broad sense, I mean, into therapy and into their care. I think in the chat you can find the link to the website in case you don't know it, and there you can find more information about all these activities. So, okay, today we'd love to open up a dialogue and to build a bridge of understanding between the Feldenkrais community and other healthcare professionals that we invited and are probably here. We are so many people now, so and I don't know, of course, all of you, so I don't know who is who, but we know from the registrations that healthcare professionals are here, or maybe here today. And we decided to start from a brief presentation of one of the activities that I've already mentioned, the pilot project for fibromyalgia and chronic pain patients. But then we will move to practice, to experience, because we know that experiencing the Feldenkrais method is necessary in order to start to understand how it can help. So I see that other participants are still joining. Nonetheless, I need to go on. And I'd like to share with you a brief, some slides about the pilot project. It's just a brief presentation. And it's here. Okay. So this one. Please wait a second because I need to, oh, this one. Okay. No. Okay. I think you can see it. Aronne si vede?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so as you see, we gave this, I mean, this is not the official title of the project, but that's a description of what it was about. It was supporting people with fibromyalgia and chronic pain, bridging medicine and the Feldenkrais method. This is rather a working title for us today. A brief description. Let's start from the objectives. The project, the pilot project, aimed at creating a joint and multidisciplinary training between Feldenkrais teachers and healthcare professionals to promote a common language, to enhance understanding and management of fibromyalgia and chronic pain. It was structured as follows. There were online meetings. They were a part of asynchronous learning, which means lessons, lectures by Italian physicians and university professors who prepared some lectures specifically for the project, and Feldenkrais teachers could study them on their own. And we had practice sessions, the so-called awareness through movement lessons for the non-Feldenkrais teachers among us today. So we had a cycle of 8 ATMs, 8 awareness through movement lessons, 1 per week. They were put together by a wonderful team of Italian teachers who based their choice on a previous project, actually on a previous cooperation with the Italian Association for Fibromyalgia patients that I mentioned a few minutes ago. So based on that experience, they crafted a new program. And the target of this pilot project in Italy was made of 12 physicians and 12 Feldenkrais teachers, as well as 24 fibromyalgia patients with no or little prior experience with Feldenkrais. 24, yes, because 12 patients were in Italy, and 12 are joining a parallel version of the pilot project, but in Germany, right? So we are, the Italian project is concluded, and the German, I said parallel, but it's rather an adaptation. It is running now, and it will be running until mid-November. So this is too much text. This is just a summary of the activities. There were surveys, there were international meetings. I already mentioned the 3 areas, right, of activities, and some of the objectives specifically were, as you see, identify the initial knowledge and perceived difficulties, align perspectives and approaches to chronic pain, meaning the perspectives of both communities, the Feldenkrais community and the physician community. And maybe the most important thing I can highlight here is at point 6. We also wanted to create a constructive path for Feldenkrais teachers, physicians, and patients through practical lessons and dialogue, which was not limited to the experience within the project, to what they did and learned, but can continue. So in the German version of it, we are working on developing a sort of manual for future teachers in order to expand and continue this first experience. So let me move to the next one. This was about the lessons. I'd like to sum up the physician's point of view at the end of the pilot project. So the background here is that the physicians participated in a survey when they started and when they finished. Within the time of the project, out of 10 areas that were evaluated in the survey, improved. So the physicians improved their basic knowledge of the Feldenkrais method, their ability to collaborate across disciplines, and also their appreciation of somatic practices, not only of the Feldenkrais method. All this increased remarkably, according to them, but there were areas where no meaningful improvement was reported. And this is about, so it's recommended approaches. This was obviously specifically about fibromyalgia because they are experts, so their knowledge in that field didn't increase, but they learned all that they didn't know about from our perspective. Exactly. And then the teacher's point of view. Also, the teachers had a survey, they participated in a survey. And in that field, we noticed some promising progress, but only in one area where statistical significance was noticed. And it was, so sorry, let me check for a moment. So the teachers learned something about fibromyalgia and chronic pain based on the lessons given by the professors that I mentioned. But the clinical domains can be further explored, and I mean, the knowledge in that field can be further improved. So the project was not enough, and we want to work more on that. Also, by an exchange and a conversation like the one we would like to start today. Then, okay, I think this is a very interesting result. So this is based on the survey for the patients, not the patients that took part in the pilot project, but to the patients that took part in the cooperation between the Italian Association for Fibromyalgia and the Italian Feldenkrais Association. So over a longer number of months, at least 2 courses. So the time that is needed to attend 2 Feldenkrais courses, which was at least 30 lessons. And what was explored was the effect on the patients, specifically on their psychological well-being, on their physical condition, their self-awareness, and the perceived value of the Feldenkrais method. So these are the results. I think this is the most important piece of information that I wanted to transmit to you today based on our experience. So you can see it highlighted in this bright blue, light blue color. 84.2% of participating patients reported improvement in anxiety and stress. The same average number of participants reported increased energy. When it comes to self-awareness, the 63.1% of patients reported a more positive mood. We have a quote as an example: "I feel powerful." As far as the perceived value is concerned, we see that a very high average, very high score, 94.8% of participants felt more actively involved in their own healing process or in their care process. So I think this is quite a significant result. The conclusions: strengths and weaknesses. Among our strengths, we created a shared language among professionals with very different paradigms, Feldenkrais community and physicians. The direct experience of awareness through movement or Feldenkrais group sessions had overcome many initial theoretical biases that the physicians expressed. Patients responded with engagement, with trust and consistency. And a climate of curiosity and mutual respect developed between the physicians and the teachers. Nonetheless, there were weaknesses, especially in the initial communication between the communities. And during the asynchronous phase, I mentioned the lectures given by the professors. And there was also a unity about the Feldenkrais method for the professors and the physicians. So the terminology and the implicit expectations created a sort of barrier that the project wasn't enough to overcome. Some physicians, moreover, showed resistance toward non-directive and non-measurable approaches. When we teach a Feldenkrais lesson, we are non-directive, and we don't have a measurable. We don't search for measures or measurable results, and this was and still will be a reason for resistance from physicians and generally from the scientific community and other professional communities that we would like to come in conversation with. Then the operational management of mixed sessions was complex and required active facilitation, which means that mixed sessions, it's interdisciplinary sessions, right? So the meetings between the physicians and the Feldenkrais teachers, it was really difficult to facilitate the conversation. So we know we need to improve a lot in that, and also adapting the sessions, the awareness through movement sessions, to the fatigue levels of the patients was not always easy. It required a constant readjustment from one lesson to the next, a readjustment of the plan and of the general idea behind the course. So our 4 teachers, the Italian teachers, had really to take a lot of care about that. And patients were very generous with their feedback. So it was easy, it was constructive. Okay, thank you for your attention. This was a very brief introduction about this. And if you're more interested, I mean, I think you have questions and maybe you want to contribute something about it, I will keep this for the end, because what we really want to do today is, as I said, going through the experience, right? So I invite you to look at the website or to contact the project manager, Lorenza Leita. You should be able to see her address in the chat. And if not, it will appear in a moment. So, okay, the idea for today is that the experiential moment will ground our conversation and help us get a clearer sense of what Feldenkrais really offers. And all you need is a chair to sit in. And now I can give the floor to the ex-president of the International Feldenkrais Federation, Vesna Puric, who's sitting there, and she will guide us through the experience.
Hi, everybody. Very welcome. I see that there are a lot of Feldenkrais practitioners and people who already have had experience and know pretty much a lot about it. I do hope that there are some people joining us today who haven't done anything that has to do with Feldenkrais, because the lesson I prepared is for people that know nothing about it. So they get an experience, not just the words. So it's a little hello to your sitting bones. So if you take an departure a bit from the table, from the laptop, and go, I will listen now rather than be glued to the screen. So have a seat and feel, how are your sitting bones on the chair today? Do you have the feeling that one is more present? Do you have actually the feeling that it's a bit annoying to be sitting up in a chair at the moment? Would you rather do other things? Do you feel that there is some strain in the back or between the shoulders? How is your neck? And where are your feet on the ground? If you have a chair that has wheels on it, could you put brakes on those wheels, please, so you don't disappear off in the space? And just take a moment to feel that you are seated, and that you can imagine that your sitting bones are one end and your 2 feet are spread, so it's like a triangle, so you're stable in the position you are in. And from that place, I will invite you to just start walking a little bit on your sitting bones, go backwards in your seat and move forward. So it's like you imagine you lift one sitting bone and move it a bit back, then you put it down and you take the other sitting bone, move it back until you feel you are at the back end of the chair, and then move a little bit forward and just notice how that feeling is. And is it easier moving one sitting bone than the other? Is one more familiar to be in the space up and down, forward, backwards compared to the other? Or do you feel that it's something in the leg that's more available to you on one side than the other? And then have a little break. And in having this little break, to just notice how you feel your sitting bones now. And is there even maybe a possibility that you feel there's some kind of buzzing energy in your legs, that something is coming alive a bit in your system? Okay, I'm just gonna close the door. It's a bit noisy here from my home. So, a little moment where we will then take and go from one side to the other. So we are swinging in the space, but make it so you feel that you really end up on the sitting bone and the left side. If you're on the right side, the left side, it's like almost in the air. And then you come back and you swing to the other side. And notice while doing that, you feel the one of the sides, you feel it's like coming home. And the other one feels a little bit unclear, how it's less aware for you, one side than the other. So just go from one side to the other and notice the differences. And while you're doing that, are you breathing? Are you holding your breath? Are you going, what is she doing with me at the moment? You know? Or it's something you've done so many times that you go, I actually don't really notice any differences because I've done this lesson so many times. It's so familiar to me. And then have a little break. Breathe in, breathe out. And I hope you don't have the table too close to you in front of you. So if you do, back away from the table so you don't bang your head on the table. So you back away and take with the right hand and slide, put it on your thigh and slide it downwards towards the foot. And you just see how far you go and what's comfortable and come back again. And do that several times. And in doing that, you can actually leave the idea of looking at the screen. You're just feeling, I'm sliding with my arm down. And if I go beyond the knee, maybe I just let my head drop down so my head follow the movement where I'm going. And how far down can you come? Where you feel like you are exploring the front of your leg all the way down to the chin bone, or do you get all the way down to your foot? And if you go that far, how is the top of the foot? If you manage to go on top of the foot, do you manage to get a bit further ahead towards the toes? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. You do what's accessible to you at this moment. Going up and down along the front of the leg, thigh up and down, and let the head follow. And then come to still sitting and just noticing, having done that, does it feel a little different, the right sitting bone, the left sitting bone, or do you feel there's a difference in the leg, the right leg, the left leg? And if I'm asking you, when you're breathing in, breathing out, where do you feel the air goes? In your chest, in your body? Do you feel it goes all the way down to the belly? Is one side like easier to fill with oxygen than the other one? And just have a little break. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, somebody's falling asleep. This time, take your right hand and put it on top of your head. And just go. I'm gonna look at my right elbow, but because I'm looking, the elbow disappears behind me, so I just keep sort of turning a bit to the right and I'm coming back because I want to look at my elbow. And bit by bit to just notice how far you can go, how does it feel, what's happening in your pelvis when you're looking at your right elbow. Do you feel that the weight on the sitting bones shift? Do you feel that your two legs are doing something different, that your one leg gets lighter from the floor, while one is pushing more into the floor to keep you balanced? And then come back, let the arm come down, and just notice if that little movement made any difference to how you are sitting on your chair. And when you're breathing in and breathing out, do you feel the one side is a little bit more available, alive to you compared to the other? Oh, this time, dear people, interlace your thumbs and put the two hands on top of your thighs, and this time we're going to explore the feeling of the leg with the two hands. So that we are going to slide on the top of the leg, go down like we did with the right hand. But bit by bit, you're going to also go, how is it if I'm on the inside of my right thigh? How is it if I'm on the outside of my right thigh? And how far down can I go? Can I go down on the outside, come up on the inside, the other way around? That I slide down on the inside, come back on the outside. And again, to just let your head follow, so you don't need to keep the face up. You just, it's like you're checking what are your hands doing. So follow it down towards the floor and come back up. And you do it in your own time, and you go where you are comfortable today. You don't need to reach the floor. You don't need to reach the toes, but you just explore and feel what's pleasant to do at this moment. With the idea that you breathing in and breathing out, that you don't hold your breath. Couple of more times, whoop, 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 down and up in your own time. And come back to sitting and feel, actually, I'd like you to come up to standing. So you come to standing on your feet and just notice when you are standing, do you have the feeling that you are standing more on one leg than the other? Do you feel the one leg is supporting you better, that you are not totally equal on both sides? Which leg could it be? Okay, so come down to sitting. And this time we are gonna take the left hand and slide it on the left leg like we did with the right hand, a bit forward over the knee as far as we go. That's comfortable. Come back up several times and let the head follow. And now you know a little bit, like you didn't know it before, where you're going. You are going downwards and you're coming back up again. And just explore, how does it feel on this side? And do you have enough space between the 2 feet so you feel you're safe in the triangle between the feet and the pelvis sitting on the chair? And then you come back. Have a little moment of breathing in, breathing out, doing nothing. Relax. And just notice if the left sitting bone is a little more present, or if you feel that something is shifting over to the left side of your body too. Is it in the leg? Is it in the chest? And take a little break, people. Some of you are still working. Just enjoy your 2 sitting bones keeping you on the seat. Breathe in, breathe out. Take the left hand, put it on your head, and try now this time to look at your left elbow. And because you're trying to look, it's moving away from you. So you end up turning to the left and then you come back. You go where it's comfortable for you. Don't need to prove anything to anybody, not forcing anything. You're just checking, how is it today? And is this side maybe easier for you than the previous one? Or do you feel, oh, it's a little different situation on my left side compared to the right one? Okay. And let go of that and have a little moment of breathing in, breathing out. Let your arms come down, your arm come down. So this time we interlace. Could we interlace our thumbs non-habitually? How do we always do if we interlace our thumbs? And could we do it the other way around? So the thumb that's close to us goes away and the other thumb is closer to us. And then we just put the hands on the thigh, on the left thigh, and then we start to explore the outside, the inside, and bit by bit that we're gonna be making it down towards the knee, beyond the knee, wherever we are comfortable today, but come back all the time in between. So you slide down, you come back up, and each time a little bit further down to see how far can I go on this side, and is it a different organization? Do I feel that I have more limitation, or do I feel, oh, this side was easier to go shwoom down on towards the foot? And let your head hang and follow the movements. You don't need to keep your face up. It's like you're just following with the whole of your body down to the left side, down towards the feet and the movement. And if you manage to get to further down, so you are on the top of the foot or around your ankle, to just explore how is it on the outside of the ankle, the inside of the ankle, and then, you know, gently come back up to sitting. Let your hands be, and just breathe out and breathe in, and just notice the space you have inside yourself. How are your sitting bones when you're breathing in? Where does it move when you're breathing out? Do you have the feeling that it might be a little more space in your chest? Do you feel that your sitting bones are really anchored in the seat? And a little last time that we come up to standing, to notice how we are standing on our feet now. And is it more symmetric, that you feel that you have the left side also present to you? So just have a moment of standing before you start swinging right and left to check the balance if you even go further. Do you have the feeling that the skeleton is keeping you upright rather than ligaments and muscles? And then you can do a little from one side to the other. And then I will say thank you for me. That was a little experience. And I hope you enjoyed it a bit, and your sitting bones are a little bit more present to you. And it's buzzing of life and space in your body. Thank you.
Thank you, Vesna. Thank you, Vesna. My skeleton is very present to me. Thank you. So we'd like to transition to a conversation, to an exchange about this experience. But Vesna, you're not sure if professionals from other communities are here today. So let me ask very easily and simply, are there professionals from other communities who are not Feldenkrais teachers? I know they registered, but we cannot know if they are here today. So if this is the case, please raise your thumb.
Wave, say hi.
Yeah. Yes, so Estela. Estela, what's your profession?
A Feldenkrais practitioner.
Yeah, do you have another profession?
No, I'm retired.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so for example, physicians who are not Feldenkrais teachers, anybody else who to whom this experience was new, so that we know how to guide the conversation. No. Yes. I cannot see your name. I see PC. It's a computer. Okay.
Claudia. Claudia.
Claudia.
Hi, Claudia. I'm physiotherapist. I'm
Yes.
not a Feldenkrais teacher.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you, Claudia. Okay. Claudia, anybody else? Claudia, can I? Oh, yes. Dani? Dani?
I'm not Dani. I'm Greta.
Greta.
I'm from Argentina.
Hola.
I don't speak very well English, but I'm Feldenkrais practitioner. I am also focusing trainer,
Oh, great.
and I'm very glad to be in this moment in this meeting. And thank you for the little ATM. And also, I have fibromyalgia.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much, Greta. Gracias. Claudia.
Can I,
Yes, Greta. Sure.
could I then ask the experience for Greta? How was it to follow this little? Was it too fast? Was it okay? I mean, because you are the one with the body that has certain limitations in the moment, maybe, or it worked for you.
You know, I don't have limitations. I have pains, not all the time, but every time I have pains. I work 30 years of Feldenkrais. I know what important was for me to have the experience as a practitioner to have my, I don't speak well English. Lo importante para mí, if you understand me, to have the experience from Feldenkrais to my pains.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, sometimes I make a appointment with a doctor from here in Argentina. He trata reumatología. You know what is reumatología?
Rheumatic.
Rheumatology.
And the first time I work, I have a point with her. She told me, yo mando a la gente a hacer Feldenkrais. She told me, but yo le dije, yo hago Feldenkrais hace 25 años.
Suggested.
Así que aquí en la Argentina, here in Argentina, there are doctors that know the importance to make Feldenkrais to the patients.
Thank you, Greta. Can I summarize what you said in Spanish? So you said that you told your doctor, your physician, that you have fibromyalgia and or someone else, but anyways, the physician said sent another person. It was another person, and he sent it to you, right? So it's patients who are sent to Feldenkrais practitioners by the physicians, because physicians in Argentina, as you said, know about the method and understand its potential, right?
Right. Right.
So in Argentina, okay. There is already.
And also, también yo aplico focusing para los dolores. Es decir, también es una forma de hacer una senso-percepción y conectar con el cuerpo para poder también sentir ese dolor, darle un espacio de entendimiento y algo mentalmente va soltando, va aflojando y también ayuda a los dolores. You understand me?
I understood that by teaching focusing, the method that is focusing, you also lead people attention to their body, and by sensing the body and giving space, giving room, space maybe to their sensations and their pain, something switches also in the mind, right? That's what I understood.
Yes. I applicate Feldenkrais and focusing.
Yeah. Thank you, Greta. Okay, so I'd like to ask the same question. Claudia, would you mind would you mind sharing a little bit about your experience with this short awareness through movement lesson on the chair? Since you're a psychotherapist and you never did Feldenkrais before, right?
Yes, I'm sorry, but my English is terrible. So I try to speak in English. Okay. It was not difficult for me because usually this is my modo di lavorare, come si dice
way of working.
Okay, thank you. I use the breath, the movements, so it's what was easy for me, but I'm happy to try.
Grazie, Claudia.
Yeah.
Signora Elisabetta, posso fare una domanda? Pierangelo? Non ho l'audio. Non ho il suo audio.
Sorry. Pierangelo wants to ask a question in Italian, so please, and then, okay, please go ahead.
I want to share an experience. Here's Josefa.
Yes, Josefa, thank you. Could you please wait a second because we have another question if we
Okay.
discuss in Italian, and then I will come back to you. Thank you. Pierangelo, please, now.
Sì, io mi sono iscritto perché ho un fratello che è affetto da morbo di Parkinson. Mi avevano detto che comunque era un po' inerente. I suoi movimenti quando usa la pasticca sono normali. Quindi adesso quello che ha fatto, che è stato prima presentato, per lui è normale. Il problema sussiste quando non usa la pasticca. Quindi non so se in effetti la sua esperienza può dare un aiuto a voi.
L'esperienza può dare un aiuto a noi o viceversa?
Entrambi. È un do to des.
Grazie. Allora girerei la domanda ad altre persone presenti che sono esperte del lavoro con il morbo di Parkinson. Quindi un momento, adesso la traduco.
Sì, grazie.
Grazie. So, Pierangelo's brother is affected by the Parkinson's disease. And Pierangelo said that the movements we experienced, we did in the short ATM, wouldn't be difficult for him when he takes his pill, because I understood that he's under, I mean, he's doing a pharmacological
Elisabetta, you are mute.
all the time. Thank you. Grazie, Antonio. Okay, so sorry. Pierangelo's brother is affected by the Parkinson's disease, and he wouldn't have any difficulties with doing something like what we did, the short ATM, when he takes his pills. But when he doesn't take his pills, when he's not under medication, he wouldn't be able to move. So that's the situation. And Pierangelo's question is, how could both interlocutors help each other? Can his brother's experience be helpful for us? And can our method be helpful for him? I think this is a wonderful question. And I'd like to invite you to answer, those of you who have experience with the Parkinson's disease, or those of you who feel like giving an answer to Pierangelo. So I see Maria. Maria, is this an answer? Do you want to answer? Maria, Raffaella? Do you want to answer?
It's not about the lesson, is about the previous slide. And I didn't get which is the one area with statistical significance that practitioner found, because I didn't get that. And for me, it's very important.
Yes. Okay. So thank you. I will answer your question afterwards, because I'd like to stay with Pierangelo's question for a moment. So thank you, Maria. Maria Raffaella, I'll be back. But Andrea, you want to answer Pierangelo's question, right? Okay, so please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've been working for years with a friend of mine who has Parkinson, and had also other problems due to accidents. And I have to say that for sure medication is important, but he had a continuous improvement through time. He changed posture, control of the movements. It was really, it got a bit better, and it didn't proceed as the speed it normally does. In a context like this, I cannot give examples. That would be too much time to invest, but I'm sure that our lessons communicate with all levels of the brain. And he was a motorbiker, a real passionate one, and he could still ride the motorbike for a long time due to his experiences he made during these lessons. This was really, for him, it was an important achievement, for example. So I think that you could say to your brother just to try out, to go to make the lessons and feel inside what happens, as we did in this little example we had previously. There isn't any rule in a certain way, but for sure we get into the system, and the brain, as we know, is only a little part we have under control. So it's also, for me, it's a question of trusting the experience and be open for it. And if I go with the mindset like that, something good might happen to me. Well.
Grazie. Thanks.
Grazie, Pierangelo. Vesna, please.
I work with a person who has Parkinson, and after every lesson, the posture is different, his control of the movements are different, his mood is different, and his speech is different every time. That was all.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you. Antonia?
I think it would be interesting also to answer the other way around, how this could help us, like the other part of the question. I don't know if someone wants to say something. For me, it would be really interesting what he said, that without pills, like practitioner, it would be really interesting to see him. Maybe I would like to see him when he takes pills, when he doesn't take pills, and to work. It would be really. I would be really curious to know more. So maybe someone else can answer about if he feels, she feels, would like to answer about how this could be interesting and important for us, the information the Pierangelo gave us.
Quando usa le pillole ha un'autonomia di 3 ore ed ha una normalità nei movimenti, riesce anche a camminare a passi molto svelti, cosa che senza la pillola non può fare. Lui comunque associa al farmaco anche, fa una fisioterapia che serve per sciogliergli i muscoli e per dargli una mobilità migliore. Si chiama girotonic, questo tipo di attività. Però appunto volevo capire se questa vostra pratica può aiutarlo a migliorare quello che è la sua condizione attuale.
Sì, Pierangelo, quel che dicevano Andrea
Sì,
e anche
perché la
Bella,
traduzione.
sì, è un consiglio di provare perché
Certo.
sì, in base all'esperienza ci sono tanti miglioramenti.
Sì, sì, infatti per questo mi sono iscritto e lo seguo io, che faccio più velocemente.
Certo.
Grazie a tutti.
Grazie a voi.
Ho detto perché qualsiasi tipo di approccio fisico.
Pierangelo, puoi togliere l'audio? Okay, so Antonia's question is very interesting. I mean, the other part of the question, what can we offer? But let's stay on the topics we wanted to talk about because, okay, so we had Claudia and Josefa. And Claudia, you were starting, and then we will move to Josefa. Please, Claudia. So you said already that you work like this, but maybe it's interesting to explore differences. Didn't you notice any differences in the way you do physical therapy and the way you were guided to do the ATM lesson?
No, not so much, but I'm interested in Feldenkrais.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Okay, thank you.
Because I have a patient with fibromyalgia, and I know it's not easy for me stay with them because they have a lot of pain, a lot of problems. It's not easy with my method, come si dice, metodi di lavoro. So I'm curious. I try to change my approccio, non so come si dice.
Your approach.
So
yeah. Thank you, Claudia. So Feldenkrais community, colleagues here in the room.
okay.
What can you say? What can
I
you tell Claudia about
I live
it?
in Tuscany. I live in Tuscany. I saw that there are Arezzo or Firenze, there are the teachers, so I decided to contact them.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing to get in contact with colleagues of ours. That's great. But I see Florinda. Okay, Florinda, is it about this thread of no? No? Okay, because we still have Josefa, but I'd really like to stay a little bit on this point. So many of us here today. What can we ask Claudia about her experience to point out to the differences, because she said she didn't notice any differences. So what's special about our method? What do we want to convey? What can we convey? And I see, okay, in the chat, I see a direct answer. Thank you, Roger. So Roger Russell, we have Roger Russell here as a special guest, together with two other special guests, Ulla Schlefke and Monika Fogelmann. So our special guests from the German association, they are very experienced. And Roger suggested to contact Francesco Ambrosio, Claudia. He's in Florence, so you can contact him. He's also a trainer, that is a teacher of teachers.
He's also an experienced psychotherapist.
An experienced psychotherapist. Okay. And okay, so why did you stress this, Roger, if I can ask?
Well, I understand, Claudia, you were a psychotherapist too. Am I wrong? Or
she's a physical therapist.
oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't understand that difference. Okay, sorry. But you could ask Francesco just the same. He's close by, very experienced.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Claudia, Francesco Ambrosio. Okay, and okay, so we are in the middle of a conversation, right? We've just started a conversation with a physical therapist who is here today with us and said that she didn't notice any differences when doing the ATM in comparison with their own approach to her patients as a physical therapist. What can we do as Feldenkrais practitioners to continue the conversation? I'm really asking, because our goal today is to build bridges, and we need also your ideas. We need.
I'd be glad to answer.
Yeah, please, Roger.
Elizabeth.
Thank you so much.
I think it's a very good question and a very general one that needs to be addressed when we understand the breadth of what the Feldenkrais method includes. This was an introductory awareness through movement lesson. This gives you a taste of the process and nothing more. There's hundreds of these group lessons that basically cover anything that anyone could possibly do in movement, including standing on your head and walking around yourself, which is actually a set of Feldenkrais lessons that Moshe Feldenkrais did in one of his trainings. The approach is not just about movement, it's about how human beings are born into the world without language, without, so to say, any other way to communicate except by their activities. And we learned how to move before or while we're learning how to relate and get around the world. So there's something very fundamental about the way the lessons are structured. We don't address, the lessons are not directed towards any particular single skill in the sense of what normally people speak about skills like running or throwing a ball or even breathing, but in a more general way that our coordination is coordinated or organized throughout ourself. That means our brain and our body all the way through. And it would be necessary, I suggest, Claudia, that you go to a class for at least 6 or 8 sessions to try out the awareness through movement lessons, and you get a better sense of what the approach is and the possibilities. And I consider it a very unique practice, but it does look like many, many other things. And it feels like many, many other things. And what makes it specifically distinct is a little bit hard to nail down at first. It's the combination of what the entire body of work includes. So that's the very short answer. There's a very long answer to this, but we don't have time to go into it. But I would suggest experiencing some of the lessons, and usually they last about an hour. And of course, that wasn't possible in this format. But and often you're very surprised at what you experience, because much of our experience of coordinating our movement, we don't attend to at all. And the lessons are set up not just to pay attention to what we usually don't notice, but to add a variety of different types of combinations of things we don't usually do, and find out what it feels like afterwards. And often there are surprising body image experiences that we don't expect. Parts of our body feel like they're larger or softer or longer. And it changes the general way we coordinate ourselves. So that's an answer to also the question about Parkinson. It's true that Feldenkrais affects the entire nervous system. It can't be otherwise, since anyone doing anything is using all of their brain and not just the parts directly affected by Parkinson. So it's a very wide-ranging practice and offers a education about things that we never pay attention to in ourselves, partially because our culture just doesn't have a word for it. Yeah. So I could go on talking, I won't. And you need to have the experience to be surprised, to finally realize, oh, there's something here I didn't know about. Okay.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you. I just want to make sure that Claudia could follow. Claudia, hai sottotitoli? Do you have the captions? Yes. Okay. So you could follow, and I hope that everybody followed, because thank you. We just got a huge pearl of experience and knowledge about what the Feldenkrais method is about. So thank you. The very practical piece of suggestion was to do at least 6 to 8 ATMs to get a sense of what it is about, and all the rest. Thank you so much. Thank you. Antonia, would you like to continue on this thread?
Yes, if we have time.
Please. We do. Then we have Josefa and another question by Marie.
Do we have time? Yes.
We do.
Okay, so one thing I always, because Claudia is not the first person I heard saying this, about our lessons. In the beginning, I don't feel the difference, and I do something similar. One thing that it's a reflection I do, it's first of all, since Feldenkrais invented this method, a lot of disciplines, sport or other physical disciplines, I think already integrated a lot of Feldenkrais principles. So it's not, I'm not surprised sometimes when people say like this, maybe they already work with a lot of tools that we use, and already they integrate the same, and I see more and more people working in the same direction. And Moshe Feldenkrais himself said in 20 years, in a training he said in 20 years, all this stuff will be integrated in other things, and I hope in every thing human beings will do, this will be more like normal, let's say, what I'm teaching. And first thing. The other thing I wanted to share and to say, it's I think it's not what we do in the method, but how we do that is important for the quality and how. And I just want to share with you, because in this period I'm studying the sources, and two ways of saying some more or less the same thing of Moshe was, I'm not interested. I would like you to bring you to not, for example, you have a recorder taper, not like to push play on a record machine. When push play, and you can just stay and know how to push play, and that this works, and you have some music. Or what I want and what he wants with his method, bring people to think by themselves and to understand how is built the recorder from inside. Or he says, I'm not interested in making you know hundreds of abilities. It's less important than knowing how you build these abilities from inside. And this will give you freedom then, because if you know how the process. So for me, it's a lot about this also, know how we to know from inside really well what we are doing and know the process really more and more 360 degrees of the.
Thank you, Antonia. Josefa, you wanted
Yes.
to, please.
I want to give a state on the difference between physio and Feldenkrais, because I had just physio, and I always felt so isolated, and because they only worked with my foot. And for me, one very, very special thing about the difference about Feldenkrais and physio is that we are always looking for connections. And we connect our whole skeleton. And this gives me really the feeling that I'm complete. I feel much more better. And this is also what I focus on my ATMs when I have the first time people who never did Feldenkrais before. And I think we should, or I do it when I'm at the beginning. People always think they have to do something. They have to do exercise when we guide them. But it's because, how was his name? From the brother who has Parkinson, who just was in?
Pierangelo.
Yeah, because he said he can do it or he can do it not. It's not important if he can do it. And that's important that he gets it, or that we can teach this to him, that we want to bring him into a process, and that it's as well good to think about the movements first. You don't have to reach it. And when you think, you will reach it more and more, maybe also without the pills. And yes, that's my experience, that at the beginning, people think they have to do exercise. And that's what I focus on. You don't have to do it. And that's the reason why I always focus in do it smooth, do it slow, look for these connections. And I agree, you take a few of lessons until you get an idea what is Feldenkrais for. Yeah, that's my.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I have also a question about your study of the patients. So did you use an evaluated questionnaire, or how did you put together the questions? Did you and you evaluated? You have a standardized questionnaire?
Yeah, thank you for the question. It was not a study in the scientific sense or in the clinical sense. It was a rather an experiential project also for the patients to really do, to experience it. But we had a questionnaire. I'm not the right person to ask because I didn't take care of that. But yes, there were many questions regarding the 4 areas that I summarized in the slide. Psychological
and you
aspect.
did not have inclusion or exclusion criteria. It was only the only thing that they had fibromyalgia or chronic pain.
Yes, fibromyalgia in Italy. In Germany, we are extended. Let's say, we are including also people with generically chronic pain without specific diagnosis. But yes, this was the exclusion criterion. And another one was that the patients or the participants had to have little or no experience with Feldenkrais. So something that was really new to them. And the surprise effect that Roger mentioned, among other things, was there. They were surprised. And I can anticipate that the German version that is running now is also surprising, positively surprising the participants. I got some replies. Thank you. So I take the opportunity to answer Maria. It was Maria Raffaella. You wanted me to be more specific about the point that reached statistical significance, right? When for the teachers, the Feldenkrais teachers who took part in the previous, in the Italian pilot. So there was only one point, and they said, I know and can summarize the therapeutic strategies for fibromyalgia. So that's something they learned from all the information they got from the physicians and professors. But for example, they didn't learn much about the clinical features of fibromyalgia or about the specific physical and emotional needs of fibromyalgic patients. Unfortunately, we need to work a lot on many fields. Yes. Okay, so we still have 5 minutes. I'm sad because we have to say goodbye, and I ask you again kindly to fill in the questionnaire. You should be able to find it again in the chat, as I said, and I invite you to join us or to look at what we're doing, to ask questions, and please let's keep the conversation alive. Exactly, the customer satisfaction form that you see now in the chat, it takes a few minutes. It would be of great help to us. So thank you so much for joining us, and let's stay in touch. Let's continue along this journey. There's a lot to do in order to learn how to talk to people from other communities, and also to talk with each other within our community. But I think that this project is helping us going towards this kind of improvement and more recognition. Dragana, please.
I just wanted to ask if you tried to work only in imagination.
Yes, I know that the teachers tried. Just a question. Are there team members who want to answer this question? Otherwise, I will do. Okay. Okay. They did, but it was too hard for the patients. Their minds, or I don't know if this applies to all participants, but it was reported that it was very hard for them to follow the movements only, and the movement instructions and the awareness questions only in their imagination. Partly, if I remember correctly, because they were focusing so much on the sensations of pain that they couldn't follow their imagination. or attuned to it.
So maybe our task is to differentiate in our questioning and to go more in sensual awareness and less in movement awareness. Maybe I just had one client that he had. I couldn't work with movement, but I used something out of focusing and from somatic experiencing, and it worked very well. So
okay, and it was more about sensory information.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dragana. I see that Greta raised her hands, and Greta is the focusing trainer or teacher. So I think this dovetails nicely, perhaps, with Greta, with Dragana.
I will speak Spanish now because it's difficult. Maybe you translate. Quiero compartir experiencia personal de 25 años que hago Feldenkrais como practitioner, que sufro fibromialgia, que tuve momentos muy difíciles a pesar de mi práctica de Feldenkrais como persona que lo practico y que doy clases permanentemente. Había momentos que era muy terrible el sufrimiento y mi esposo, que es médico, neurólogo, investigó, y lo doy como un agregado que no es Feldenkrais, pero que ayuda a las personas que sufren mucho, la posibilidad de usar magnetoterapia intracraneal. Esto tendrían que investigarlo, a lo mejor lo conocen. Lo digo porque me sirvió a mí personalmente. Yo no tengo trabajo con mucha gente de fibromialgia, justamente mi experiencia personal. Ahí tengo momentos donde son muy fuertes mis dolores generalizados, y la aplicación del magneto transcraneal, que tiene su temática específica, me ayuda muchísimo para salir de una crisis y después seguir trabajando, obviamente con el despertar de la sensopercepción, que es lo que motiva, es decir, una de las cosas más importantes del trabajo de Feldenkrais, para poder hacer los cambios. Y como está tan conectado en nuestro ser, cuerpo, mente y alma, el trabajo de focusing ayuda en el momento de haber hecho la experiencia de Feldenkrais o durante la experiencia de una clase, de una TM, cómo sentir qué parte emocional también podemos como acompañar para potenciar y mejorar el trabajo que Feldenkrais nos ofrece. Gracias.
Gracias a ti, Greta. So I'll try to summarize what my notes. So Greta said that she would like to share a personal experience of 25 years of being a Feldenkrais practitioner and a fibromyalgia person, right? I mean, someone with fibromyalgia who went through hard times despite being a Feldenkrais practitioner. So despite having this powerful method for herself. So her experience is that her husband, who is a physician, managed to arrange a specific kind of therapy for her, which is called transcranial magnetotherapy, which helped her overcome a crisis and then continue work by, she said, if I understood correctly, Greta, by awakening your sensory perception, which is so important in the Feldenkrais method. And then you said that focusing, the practice of focusing, this other method that you're a teacher of, is also very helpful in awakening sensations, the perception, which kind of perception exactly, Greta? ¿Qué percepciones exactamente se...
a ver, percepciones de, primero que vas, como vas suavizando los dolores con bueno, con el trabajo de Feldenkrais, uno empieza como a lograr suavizar la musculatura y evidentemente el sistema nervioso central va como soltando esa gran tensión provocada por el dolor. Y ahí es como que emocionalmente también se abre una puerta de informar qué me está generando esos dolores y en qué momento, porque las crisis a veces de la fibromialgia, en mi experiencia, pueden venirme de algún estrés grande que pasé en algún momento del día o de la semana, y cómo esto logra ir tranquilizándome, informando desde el cuerpo qué fue lo que me disparó y qué cambios internos puedo ir haciendo para salirme de ese patrón que me genera el dolor.
It's
¿Se
something,
entiende?
excuse me, it's something like locate the trigger that caused this attack,
sí.
these pains.
Claro,
Exactly.
porque son momentos, es decir, en mi experiencia, no estoy todo el tiempo con la fibromialgia, tengo como ataques, como momentos, a veces pueden durar 5 horas, a veces me pueden durar 2 días, a veces una semana, y es una sensación no solamente del dolor, sino que es como una sensación de que uno dentro se desvanece como persona, se pierde como la fuerza, se pierde la animosidad, se pierde la alegría, es como que uno queda como muy, como muy vulnerable, muy vulnerable.
Vacío.
¿Cómo?
Vacío.
Vacío, ¿no? Y todo esto, en mi experiencia última, recurro al magneto que yo siento corporalmente como el magneto me va como suavizando, aflojando, alineando internamente, al margen de todo el trabajo de Feldenkrais que yo hago, porque ya para mí es un placer, no, obvio, no lo hago para resolver mi fibromialgia, sino porque vivo como Feldenkrais, porque enseño el cómo, el ritmo, el tempo, la voz, como se decía hoy, dependiendo qué persona viene a verme, primero escucho lo que le pasa y desde ahí abordo qué tipo de ATM elijo o integración, con qué ritmo, con qué tono, qué posibilidad le doy para que puedas sentir y conectar y darse cuenta si sí hubo un cambio, ese primer contacto. Bueno, pero quería agregar...
Greta, perdón, perdón.
Listo.
Sí, so let me switch to English. Sorry. It's fantastic what you're saying. It's fantastic. It's so enriching, but I'm afraid that it's, I mean, it's already 10 past, almost 10 past 2. So what can we say to conclude the meeting? Maybe, Greta, maybe you can send an email to us describing this experience of yours, because it is really enriching, I think, for the community. And okay, so
Yeah, I try.
In Spanish, you can send it in Spanish. It's okay.
Oh, thanks,
I mean,
thanks.
It's great. It's not okay. It's great. Okay. And for today, so thank you. For today, I can conclude by thanking you all again. I don't know if any of the team members would like to say a concluding word. Maybe Vesna after leading the ATM and listening to the discussion, or Andrea, or our guests.
Well, I'd like to say thank you everybody for being here today. And I had hoped that we would have reached some people that actually, more people that didn't have any knowledge of Feldenkrais, so to widen the, contact to people out of our profession. But that's maybe for the next time. Meanwhile, it's been good seeing that people are present, and that we hopefully find a way forward to open up this. Let's see how it goes with the German project with the chronic pain, and to building blocks to open it up to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
That's all now.
Yeah.
Thank you for being present.
Thank you. And please help us spread the word about the Feldenkrais method among those who don't know about it yet. Okay. And you can always send an email.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Claudia. So much.
Thank you very much.
Grazie Elisabetta, grazie per la moderazione, grazie a tutti per la partecipazione. Ho sentito un clima molto, molto bello e avanti così direi. E buon pomeriggio.
Grazie Andrea. Ciao, buon pomeriggio.
Grazie a tutti, ciao.
Grazie,
Grazie Elisabetta.
Grazie, ciao.